I never thought I'd be in this situation, but here I am. I'm Tony, 28M, and I've been dating Melissa, 26F, for the past 2 years. We met at a mutual friend's barbecue during a sweltering summer day. I remember it vividly because I had just spilled ketchup all over my new white shirt when Melissa walked up to me, laughing. She handed me a napkin and said, "Looks like you could use this more than me." Her infectious laugh and quick wit caught my attention immediately. Melissa and I hit it off right away. We spent the entire barbecue talking, discovering we had a lot in common. We both loved indie music, enjoyed hiking on weekends, and shared a passion for trying out new restaurants in the city. By the end of the night, I had her number, and we made plans to meet up for coffee the following week. Our relationship progressed quickly after that. Within 6 months, we were talking about moving in together. Melissa worked as a social media manager for a local fashion brand, and I was a software developer at a tech startup. We both had stable jobs and similar interests, so it seemed like a perfect match. I should probably mention that before Melissa, I had been in a long-term relationship that ended badly. My ex, Sarah, cheated on me with my best friend at the time. It took me a long time to trust again after that, but Melissa was patient and understanding. She never gave me any reason to doubt her, and I felt like I had finally found someone I could truly trust. About a year into our relationship, I started noticing some changes in Melissa's behavior. It was subtle at first. She'd be on her phone more often, quickly putting it away when I entered the room. I brushed it off, thinking she was probably just dealing with work stuff. But then she started working late more frequently, sometimes not coming home until the early hours of the morning. When I asked her about it, she'd brush it off, saying she had big projects at work or was helping out a friend. I wanted to believe her, but memories of my past relationship with Sarah started creeping in. I tried to push those thoughts away, reminding myself that Melissa wasn't Sarah, and I shouldn't let my past affect our relationship. As time went on, though, things got weirder. Melissa became more secretive with her phone, always keeping it face down and taking calls in another room. She'd get dressed up to go out, claiming she had work events, but would come home looking disheveled and smelling of alcohol. I tried to talk to her about it several times, but she'd always deflect or turn it around on me, accusing me of not trusting her. It reminded me of how Sarah used to gaslight me when I suspected she was cheating. I felt like I was going crazy, constantly second-guessing myself and our relationship. One night, about 6 months ago, I woke up at 3 a.m. to find Melissa's side of the bed empty. I called her cell, but it went straight to voicemail. Worried, I stayed up until she stumbled in at 5 a.m., clearly drunk. When I asked where she'd been, she mumbled something about a work emergency and passed out on the couch. The next morning, she acted like nothing had happened. I wanted to believe her explanations, but doubt was eating away at me. I started noticing other little things, receipts from restaurants I'd never heard of, unfamiliar names popping up on her phone, and a growing distance between us. We used to spend our weekends exploring the city or binge watching our favorite shows, but now Melissa always seemed to have other plans. Despite all this, I still loved Melissa. We had built a life together, and I didn't want to throw it all away based on suspicions. I kept hoping that if I just gave her time and space, she'd open up to me about whatever was going on. Things came to a head last week. It was Melissa's 26th birthday, and I had planned a surprise party for her at our favorite bar, the Rusty Nail. I'd been planning it for weeks, coordinating with our friends and even some of her coworkers to make sure everyone could make it. I wanted to show Melissa how much I cared about her, hoping it might bring us closer again. The party was in full swing when Melissa arrived. She seemed genuinely surprised and happy, hugging everyone and thanking me for organizing it. For a moment, I felt like maybe things were going to be okay. About an hour into the party, I noticed Melissa kept checking her phone and looking anxious. She excused herself to go to the bathroom, but after 15 minutes, she hadn't returned. I went to check on her and overheard her talking on the phone in the hallway near the restrooms. What I heard made my blood run cold. Melissa was talking to someone, saying things like, "I can't meet you tonight, it's my birthday party, and no, Tony doesn't suspect anything." My heart was pounding as I listened. When she hung up, I confronted her right there in the hallway. Melissa tried to deny everything at first, but when I pressed her, she broke down. It turned out she had been leading a double life for the past 6 months. She had a whole other group of friends I didn't know about, and she'd been going to underground parties and clubs almost every night. Worse, she admitted to hooking up with multiple people at these events. I was in shock. Without thinking, I stormed back into the main area of the bar where all our friends were still celebrating. In a moment of anger and hurt, I announced to everyone that Melissa had been cheating on me and living a secret life. The room went silent, and all eyes turned to Melissa, who had followed me out, tears streaming down her face. Chaos erupted. Some of our friends started yelling at Melissa, while others tried to calm me down. Melissa's coworkers looked bewildered, clearly having no idea about her secret life. My best friend, Alex, who had been there for me through my breakup with Sarah, looked ready to punch someone. Melissa ran out of the bar, sobbing. In the days since, I've been staying with Alex. Melissa has been blowing up my phone with calls and texts, begging for forgiveness and saying she'll explain everything. Some of our mutual friends have taken my side, while others are angry at me for humiliating Melissa publicly on her birthday. I keep replaying that night in my head, wondering if I could have handled it differently. Part of me feels justified in exposing Melissa's lies, but another part feels guilty for causing such a scene. I can't help but think about how I felt when I found out about Sarah's cheating, and how I wished I had confronted her privately instead of letting it all come out at a party. Now I'm stuck in this limbo, not sure how to move forward. I love Melissa, or at least I thought I did, but I don't know if I can ever trust her again. The betrayal feels even worse because I opened up to her about my past and my trust issues, and she still chose to deceive me. I know I shouldn't have exposed her like that in front of everyone, but I was hurt and angry. Now I'm wondering if I went too far. So, Reddit, Ida for exposing my girlfriend's secret double life at her birthday party? Update 1. It's been about 2 weeks since the birthday party incident, and a lot has happened. First of all, thank you to everyone who commented on my original post. Your support and advice really helped me through this difficult time. After taking a few days to clear my head, I agreed to meet with Melissa to hear her out. We met at a neutral location, a quiet coffee shop downtown called The Grind. It was a place we used to frequent when we first started dating, which made the whole situation feel even more surreal. Melissa looked terrible, dark circles under her eyes, messy hair, and wearing the same clothes she'd worn to work the day before. She was a far cry from the put-together woman I'd fallen in love with. She broke down almost immediately, apologizing profusely and begging for another chance. Through her tears, Melissa explained that she had always felt like she was living a boring life and wanted to experience more excitement. It started with just going out to clubs with a new group of friends she met online, but quickly spiraled into a lifestyle of partying, drugs, and casual hookups. As she talked, I couldn't help but think back to all the times she'd told me she was working late or helping a friend. All those nights I'd stayed up worrying about her, only to be brushed off when I expressed concern. It made me feel like a fool. Melissa claimed she never meant for it to go this far, but she got caught up in the thrill of it all. She said she loved me and our life together, but she also craved the excitement of her secret life. When I asked why she didn't just talk to me about feeling bored or wanting to experience new things, she couldn't give me a straight answer. As much as it hurt to hear all of this, I'm glad I got some closure. I told Melissa that while I appreciated her honesty, I couldn't forgive her or continue our relationship. The trust was completely broken, and I knew I'd never be able to look at her the same way again. After our talk, I went back to our apartment. Melissa had been staying with her sister, to pack up my things. It was strange being back in the space we'd shared for so long. Everywhere I looked, there were memories of our life together, photos from our trips, the silly magnet collection we'd started, even the ugly lamp Melissa insisted on keeping because it was a gift from her grandmother. As I was boxing up my stuff, I found even more evidence of Melissa's secret life, hidden burner phones, club wristbands, and even a small bag of what looked like drugs. It made me realize how little I truly knew about the person I thought I was going to spend my life with. I felt a mix of anger, sadness, and embarrassment. How could I have been so blind? The fallout from the birthday party reveal has been intense. Most of our friends have sided with me, but a few have remained neutral or even taken Melissa's side, saying I shouldn't have humiliated her publicly. It's been hard losing friends over this, especially since our social circle was so intertwined. Melissa's work life has also been affected. Apparently, her boss was at the party and is now questioning her reliability and judgment. Part of me feels guilty about this, but then I remind myself that these are the consequences of her actions, not mine. I've moved in with my buddy Alex temporarily while I look for a new place. He's been incredibly supportive, even helping me move my stuff out of the apartment. It's been a tough adjustment, going from living with my partner to crashing on a friend's couch, but I'm grateful for Alex's support. I've also started opening up to my family about what happened. My parents were shocked. They loved Melissa and thought we were headed towards marriage. My mom keeps asking if there's any chance of reconciliation, which is hard to hear. My sister, Kate, 30F, has been especially supportive, checking in on me daily and offering to set me up with some of her friends when I'm ready. Right now, the thought of dating anyone new feels overwhelming, but I appreciate her effort to cheer me up. For now, I'm focusing on healing and moving forward. I've thrown myself into my work, taking on extra projects to keep my mind occupied. I've also started hitting the gym regularly to clear my head. It's not easy, but I know I made the right decision in ending things with Melissa. I still have moments where I miss her and our life together. Sometimes I catch myself reaching for my phone to text her about something funny that happened at work, or I'll see her favorite snack at the grocery store and feel a pang of sadness. But then I remember the betrayal and the hurt, and I know I deserve better. I'm not sure what the future holds, but I'm hopeful that I'll find someone who values honesty and commitment as much as I do. For now, I'm taking it one day at a time and trying to rediscover who I am outside of this relationship. Update 2. It's been about 2 months since my last update, and life has taken some unexpected turns. I thought I was on the path to healing and moving on, but things got complicated. About a month ago, I ran into Melissa at The Grind, The same coffee shop where we had our post-breakup talk. It was a Saturday morning, and I had stopped in for my usual latte before heading to the gym. I almost didn't recognize her at first. She looked different, more like the Melissa I used to know. It was awkward at first, but we ended up talking for hours. She looked better, healthier and more put together. Melissa told me she had quit her job and was in the process of getting help for her issues. She seemed genuinely remorseful and said she understood why I couldn't forgive her. As we talked, I found myself remembering all the good times we had shared. Melissa told me about the therapy she was attending and how she was working on understanding why she had acted the way she did. She spoke about her childhood and some family issues I had never known about, which shed some light on her behavior. Despite my better judgment, I found myself starting to soften towards her. We began texting occasionally, just checking in on each other. Part of me wondered if maybe, with time and effort, we could rebuild our relationship. Another part of me was scared of being hurt again. I didn't tell anyone about these interactions with Melissa, not even Alex or Kate. I felt guilty, like I was betraying myself and everyone who had supported me through the breakup. But I couldn't deny that I still had feelings for Melissa. However, things took a dramatic turn last week. I was out having drinks with some coworkers at a new bar downtown when I ran into Sarah, 25F, one of Melissa's former coworkers who was at the birthday party. After a few drinks, Sarah confided in me that Melissa's secret life went far beyond what I knew. Apparently, Melissa had been involved in a complex scam targeting wealthy men at high-end clubs. She and her friends would drug these men and rob them, sometimes even blackmailing them afterward. Sarah had overheard Melissa discussing this with someone at work but was too scared to come forward earlier. I was stunned. Just when I thought I was getting over the betrayal, this new information hit me hard. All the progress I thought we were making, all the explanations and apologies, suddenly felt hollow. I felt like a fool all over again. I immediately cut off all contact with Melissa and informed the police about what Sarah had told me. It was one of the hardest things I've ever had to do, but I knew it was the right thing. The next day, I received a panicked call from Melissa. She was hysterical, saying the police had questioned her and she knew I must have found out the truth. She begged me not to press charges, saying she would do anything to make it right. It was painful to hear her like that, but I knew I couldn't let my feelings cloud my judgment again. I hung up on her and blocked her number. I also reached out to a lawyer friend to see what my options were and if I could be implicated in any way since I lived with Melissa during this time. The whole situation has left me feeling drained and disillusioned. I can't believe how thoroughly I was deceived by someone I thought I knew so well. It's made me question my judgment and ability to trust. On a more positive note, the support from my friends and family has been incredible. When I finally told Alex and Kate about my recent interactions with Melissa, they were understanding and supportive, even though I could tell they were worried about me. Alex, who I'm still living with, has been a rock through all of this. And Kate has been checking in on me daily, making sure I'm eating and taking care of myself. I've also started seeing a counselor to work through my trust issues and the trauma of this experience. It's early days, but I'm hopeful it will help me process everything and move forward in a healthy way. For now, I'm taking things one day at a time and trying to focus on the positives in my life. I'm throwing myself into work and have even started volunteering at a local animal shelter on weekends, which has been a great distraction. Being around the animals and helping them find homes has been unexpectedly therapeutic. I'm not sure what the future holds, especially with the potential legal implications of Melissa's actions, but I'm determined to come out of this stronger and wiser. It's a long road ahead, but I'm ready to face it. Update 3, it's been 6 months since my last update, and I'm finally feeling like I'm on solid ground again. A lot has happened, and I wanted to share the resolution of this crazy chapter of my life. First, the legal situation with Melissa. After providing my statement to the police, they launched a full investigation into the scam operation. It turned out to be even bigger than we initially thought, involving multiple cities and a large network of people. Melissa wasn't the mastermind, but she was a key player. In the end, Melissa took a plea deal. She's currently serving a 3-year sentence and has been ordered to pay restitution to her victims. It's surreal to think about the person I loved being in prison, but I know justice is being served. As for me, I was cleared of any involvement. My lawyer friend was incredibly helpful throughout the process, ensuring I was protected legally. I'm grateful I didn't get dragged into the mess any further than I already was. On a personal level, I've made a lot of progress. The counseling has been incredibly helpful in working through my trust issues and processing the trauma of the whole experience. I've learned a lot about myself and what I want in a relationship. I'm happy to say that I'm in a much better place now. I moved out of Alex's place and into my own apartment. It's small, but it's mine, and it feels like a fresh start. I've decorated it with some of my favorite photos and art pieces, making it feel like a true home. I've also gotten a promotion at work. My boss noticed how I threw myself into my projects over the past few months, and it paid off. The new role comes with more responsibility, but also more creative freedom, which I'm really excited about. My relationships with friends and family have grown stronger through all of this. Alex and I are closer than ever. We've started a weekly game night tradition that's become the highlight of my week. My sister Kate has become my best friend and biggest supporter. We've been going on weekend hikes together, something I used to do with Melissa but had stopped doing after everything happened. It feels good to reclaim that part of my life. I've also reconnected with some old friends I had lost touch with during my relationship with Melissa. It's been great catching up with them and rebuilding those connections. They've been understanding about everything that happened and haven't judged me for it. The volunteering at the animal shelter has become a big part of my life. I've even adopted a dog, a scruffy little terrier mix named Max. He's been great company and has given me a sense of purpose and routine that I didn't realize I was missing. Perhaps the biggest update is that I've started dating again. I met a woman named Emily, 29F, through a local hiking group. We've been seeing each other for about a month now. It's early days, but it feels good to be opening my heart again. Emily knows about my past with Melissa, and she's been incredibly understanding and patient. We're taking things slow, which feels right for both of us. Looking back, I can see how much I've grown from this experience. While I wouldn't wish it on anyone, I've come out of it stronger, wiser, and with a much clearer sense of who I am and what I want in life. To anyone going through something similar, know that it does get better. It takes time, work, and a lot of self-reflection, but you can come out the other side stronger than before. Thank you all for your support throughout this journey. Your advice and kind words have meant more than you know. Here's to new beginnings and brighter days ahead.